And all you need to do is put 10 chilies of each and half an onion, 2 tomatoes, and cook them up. And it's gonna smell up your home, really spicy, but it's gonna be delicious. Give it a go. It's like 15 minutes. Just keep turning them around, alright? And let them burn. So while this is cooking here, you ignore that for a minute. Come over here. It's all the pork. Let's grab, it's not. I'm just gonna grab salt and pepper and sprinkle it in, and as you sprinkle it over the meat, you just throw it in here and keep going, okay? So once this is done cooking, move it off of that. You're gonna go ahead and throw it in your blender. Want to boil like 2 cups of water. I usually use my coffee pot to make that because it's measured and it's very quick. Just boil 2 cups of water and throw it all in the blender together. Alright, next thing you want to do is grab some green beans and dice them up a little bit in small chunks or small pieces. And you do that with all of that and a handful. I don't know, I don't have the measurements of it, the portions for it, but this is like 4.5 5 pounds. And this is 10 puya and 10 guajillo, half of an onion and 2 tomatoes, okay? And my coffee pot full, I think it's 4 cups of water we're boiling right now. We're gonna throw it all in the blender and mix it up, alright? Okay, once you've gotten everything out and into the blender, we're gonna open it up, push everything down. Whoa, that smells spicy as fuck. There we go. There's the onion. Next is add the rest of this stuff, the seeds. Throw it all in there. We'll grab your 4 cups of boiling water. Woo. If you have, if you're congested, like you have a cold or something, you make some of this and it'll clear your sinuses up in seconds. Cool. Okay, after that, what you want to do is grab all your meat and throw it in a pan. But first, you gotta make sure you got oil in it. And you can dump it all in there, or you can place it in there all nice and neat. This is the way I've always done it. So you just dump it all in there if you want. Again, this is gonna cook all the meat before you add the sauce, the mole to it. The mole. It's gonna cook it all before that, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to be eating raw pork, it'll fuck you up, alright? So you're gonna cook it by itself and at least like a good, until it browns up, you know, you'll see it once it's coming, the fat's coming off the bone or separating from the meat. That's when you know it's pretty decent. And then you're gonna add the mole sauce to it and let it slow cook for another hour, 2 hours, depending on, I mean, you'll know when it's done, when the mole is like sunk in or seeped into it. I can't wait, it's delicious. Okay, and you're gonna put a lid on it, and you're gonna put it on medium heat. On the stove, it's on 4. And while that's happening, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and grab the mole, the sauce, take a good whiff, and holy cow, it's a really strong odor. I can't describe it, but I mean, it's not bad, it's really good. What you're gonna do next is you're gonna grab a strainer. Let's grab a bigger one. So we have a strainer here, and what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna strain this. I'm gonna need some help, so give me a second. Couldn't get any help, so what I ended up doing is just grabbing a bowl a clean bowl and put the strainer on top. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this out. I have a Ninja. I don't know what kind of blender you have, but I remove this. It makes everything a lot easier. And we're gonna go ahead and hit it with the strainer. And this is all you're gonna do. So some of it is gonna go through, some of it is not because it's too thick, you know. But what you're gonna do is you're just gonna roll it, and a lot of it is gonna seep through, right? So you're gonna know how much you're gonna get. So I usually add like 2 cups of water to it, boil the water and go through with it. And this red juice comes out, the sauce comes out of it, right? And it's really thin at this time. So we're gonna make it really thick here in a second. Just keep doing that until all of it is dry, and it's gonna clump up into this like big dry chili powder, or not powder, but chili ball. Now, right, once it's been drip dried, it's gonna look like this, just a ball of dried up chilies and tomatoes and onions, and all the juices and flavors are gonna go in there. I would say let that drip in there into your blender, and just pour it back in. But this here is more than enough to cover the 5 pounds of pork that we got going on here. So we let that cook, and I'm going to show you guys how to make that really thick now. So normally we can, it all depends on how you want it. If you want it to be sweet and less spicy, you go ahead and add blocks of chocolate. Sugar shit. And I guess you can grab the blocks of chocolate to cook with from a cooking stuff. I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. I've always used flour because spicy in our family is what we go with all the time. So you use a couple scoops of flour. There isn't any measurements for this, guys. This is just straight up a couple spoons until it's rich and thick. And pretty much that's all you're gonna do. But this needs to be on the stove as well, okay? So 1 second. Okay, so now it's been transferred from that into this pot here. And Papa, hold on. Alright, and my son's hopping off. And the wife is, alright, cool. So what we're gonna do now is this has been transferred into the pot, and it's really thin, as you can see. Absolutely thin, very thin liquid. Shit, fucked up. Don't do that. You want to grab a spoon that's dry so you can dip it into your flour. I'm gonna grab 1 scoop, and it needs to be while it's being heated up so it can break apart. 1. I know this because I've done it multiple times. I've done it on 2 cups of water, and I've always used like 3 spoons of flour to make it thick. Otherwise, you just kind of judge it, man. There is really no measurement for this. It's what you think is fine or thick, but this is gonna make it really thick. Again, if you can't stand spicy, go ahead and use blocks of chocolate. Cooking with chocolate, I mean, this is most of the Mexican restaurants you go out to won't make it this way. They'll use chocolate because they're serving people that can't handle spices. So it comes out a really sweet yet delicious still, nonetheless. But we just prefer spicy. And this process here, you're just gonna stir until it's all broken up, all the flour's broken up. You're gonna grab your spoon, and as you can see, it's still really thin because it's a lot of water that we use. It's getting a little bit thicker. Right, so we used already 3, I believe. We use this much. 1, 2. So we've used 5 spoons. Hold on, Papa. Hold on. We've used 5 spoons for 4 cups. So, alright, my son keeps interrupting. So, 1 second, guys. Alright, so, oh shit. Okay, so it looks like we can use this spoon now. See, it's really thick now and chunky. That's the way it's supposed to be. So now it's really thick, and now we can go ahead and add the green beans to this and let this boil. So now we have the green beans in here, and you just let this stir and boil. If it gets too thick, I love it really, really, really thick. But if it gets too thick, you can go ahead and pour like another cup of water. Again, there's no measurements for this. I don't have the measurements. I got this from my aunt. And it's all kind of, most Mexican dishes are, they're not measured. It's just kind of like a pinch of this, a pinch of that. This has always worked for me. So we're gonna let this boil with the green beans in it. The green beans are gonna cook and soften in the mole, but they're also gonna, it's gonna go in here with all of this. And we're gonna continue to just kind of cook it. We're gonna throw the mole in there, the mole sauce, and we're just gonna keep turning it, okay? Okay, now that this is cooking, I ended up using the same tool or the same spatula or spoon, soup, whatever you want to call it on the kitchen utensils. Used it to stir the pork, and again, the green beans are already in there. You want to let this boil a little bit before you combine them, and let that simmer on very low for the next hour, and it'll be done, man. It's delicious. So as you can see here, the beans are starting to get a little bit dull in color. They're not so green anymore. And sorry, this is a little bit difficult because I'm a girl and I'm trying to cook at the same time. Whoa. All right, so get back to it. What you want to do now is open this up. Oh, shoot. You want to open it up, and then you're gonna grab your mole sauce. It's still pretty thick. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. It's good. One more time. That's perfect right there. Throw that in there. Go over here, and you're just gonna spread it evenly. I'm sorry. I'm trying to capture all of this and hold a baby, and it's kind of difficult. But you want to spread it all around. Yeah. And once you've done that, it should look like this. All of it is drained. Again, you can add water to this if you want to make it, get it all out of there. And just kind of pour it in there. But I'm not going to do that. Now I grab this and mix it all together. And again, this is about 5 pounds of meat, and 5 pounds of meat, use 4 cups of water. To make this sauce, I use about 5 large spoons of flour. Again, you can use chocolate, but I don't know the measurements for chocolate because I've never done it with chocolate, okay? But give it a go, and let me know what you think, John, alright? I'd love to get to some Iranian dishes here, so kind of share, you know. Have fun, man. Now let this simmer on low heat. We're gonna go on let's go to 2, and we're gonna let that sit there for the next hour 30 minutes, and it'll be done. All right, man. I hope you enjoyed this, John.